up, we'll tell you what we know about two shootings on the east side of Sioux Falls.
Plus, we check in with Monument Health to see how quickly it's vaccinating people as more South Dakotans become eligible for a shot. Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Sioux Falls police are investigating a pair of shootings on the city's east side. The first shooting happened just before 7 Tuesday night in the 4200 block of East Ronning Drive. A sergeant with the Sioux Falls police tells us that one person received a gunshot wound and that they have a possible suspect in custody.
Over an hour later, police were called to another shooting, this time at an apartment on East 11th Street. Authorities say another person received a gunshot wound. Both people are receiving treatment. We do not know if the incidents are related to each other.
We hope to learn more about the incidents at this morning's police briefing. You can watch it live starting at 10:30 on KELOLAND.com.
The South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation has released a summary of an officer-involved shooting in Custer in January. The DCI says the deputy involved acted appropriately and was justified.
The investigation found the deputy fired only after the defendant ignored repeated demands that he put the gun down and raised the gun to aim it at the deputy. 32-year-old Jared Frazier was taken to the hospital and later arrested.
Firefighters in Sioux Falls were kept busy Tuesday night with a fire in the south central part of the city. Around 8:30 p.m., Sioux Falls Fire Rescue was called to a home in the 2500 block of South Duluth Avenue for reports of a fire. Crews first on scene found smoke coming from the front door of the building. Upon entering the home, firefighters found fire burning in a corner on the first floor. A dog trapped on the second floor of the home was rescued. Everyone inside the home got out safely before crews arrived. We now know the name of a woman who died after a crash north of Yankton last Friday. Around 5:30 Friday afternoon, a car was going south on Highway 81 when it crossed the center line and collided with a semi heading north. The driver of the car, 19-year-old Abigail Gilkerson, was airlifted to a Sioux Falls hospital where she later died as a result of her injuries. The driver of the semi, 64-year-old Willis Van Rokel, received minor injuries. South Dakota's Highway Patrol is investigating the crash. One man is dead after a one-vehicle crash east on Monroe Monday night. Shortly after 8:30, a pickup was going east on 268th Street when it went into the ditch and rolled. The 42-year-old driver was thrown from the vehicle. He died as a result of his injuries. South Dakota's Highway Patrol is investigating the crash. Authorities in Sioux Falls are trying to figure out what caused several crashes along Interstate 229 Tuesday afternoon. A KELOLAND viewer sent a photo of the crash on I-229 under the Louise Avenue Bridge. Sioux Falls police tweeted about 1:30 that the southbound traffic in the area was temporarily closed due to an injury accident. Stay with KELOLAND News on air and online as updates become available. Turning to weather now, parts of KELOLAND saw some much-needed rain yesterday. Let's see how much rain fell with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning, you two. Good morning, everybody. Looks like rainfall amounts across southeastern South Dakota at an inch or more, and that goes from the Sioux Falls area down toward Yankton, receiving more than an inch of rainfall out of yesterday. And then it looks like as we go into this coming weekend, there's a slight chance that we may add to that here and there, though the moisture will not be as great. So we'll just go with scattered showers. And they may fall in the form of light snow if they do fall during the overnight hours, of course, when it is colder. Otherwise, remaining above average as we go through the weekend, and that trend will continue to early next week. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thanks, Scott. South Dakota is making progress vaccinating people against COVID-19. More than a third of the population has received at least one shot. Several students at the University of Sioux Falls are now part of that group.
Through a partnership with Avera Health, USF was able to offer shots to students who live in residence halls or work on campus.
I feel it's important because I see that maybe it'll be mandatory here in the future to travel or something, and also pretty cool to get it done here. Pretty cool to see everybody showing up.
USF does not require students or employees to be vaccinated. However, the university is trying to make the vaccines more accessible to those who want the shot. More people are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine in South Dakota, including firefighters and those in the food industry.
Phase 1E started on Monday. Monument Health officials in western South Dakota say the vaccination process is running smoothly so far.
I anticipate us moving rather quickly through that 1E group. And so if you're waiting on the sideline as a general population person that doesn't meet any of the priority groups, please do go ahead and get registered and get ready to be vaccinated. It is probably going to be a relatively short amount of time before you're able to be vaccinated.
We've included links to the Monument Health website at KELOLAND.com. History was made at the South Dakota Boys State Basketball Tournament this past weekend.
In the consolation round of the Class AA tournament, Washington High School did something that had never been done before in South Dakota. The coaching staff went with an all-black starting lineup.
We were just kind of sitting in our hotel room Friday night as a coaching staff, and one of us just brought it up, and the more we talked about it, the more we thought, man, that might be a really good idea to do that.
We made something historic, like it's something really big, and it's something you'll remember for the rest of your life,
Washington is one of the most diverse schools in all of South Dakota, and the student body has made a concerted effort to embrace diversity and open the conversation on race relations.
The coach says the decision to go with an all-black starting lineup was a continuation of that effort. And let's look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
Okay, as we look at rain and precipitation totals, at least the firm estimates here from the last day or so, you can see Sioux Falls over an inch, about an inch, just about 0.10 on top of that this morning. Yankton about 1.30 inches, Mitchell about 0.5 inch, and also Huron a little over 0.5 inch of rainfall. And numbers here, of course, we've got more details here at KELOLAND.com. Even Worthington picking up a little more moisture. We just got a new number in there at about 0.9 of an inch. So now the system that caused that, it's going to be moving east today into Wisconsin, pulling away the rain and a little wet snow on the backside, but it's pretty much wrapped up here this morning. And then another system to our south, and that's not a player for KELOLAND, so we'll kind of look at that but not really address that a whole lot. I do think, though, into Friday there will be developing snow again in the central Rockies, and then this will actually be a piece of energy that comes into the plains, a passing frontal boundary here on Saturday. Could be enough to trigger some scattered showers. Not a lot of rain, but there could be a few of those just to make way for the start of your weekend. Sunday looks warmer, a little wind out of the south. Probably a good case to be said for temperatures back into the 70s by Monday for some. Yeah, keep an eye on that. Lows tonight, though, in the 20s. So chilly start to your Thursday morning. We're expecting highs tomorrow mainly here in the 50s once again for KELOLAND and the 7 days. Well, the weekend, a lot of 50-degree weather, pretty common in the Midwest. I do think Sunday we could get close to 60 in Sioux Falls, and Monday we're now projecting 65, and a little room to grow on that, so keep watching that. Tuesday, Wednesday of next week could be another cold front feature to follow. I think Aberdeen in the Northeast will watch highs into the low to mid-50s to start the weekend. Some rain, maybe a bit of snow if it happens early in the morning, but we're just not locked into a lot of precipitation here. So for Pierre, we'll keep it as a 20% chance of moisture right now for Saturday. Then with drier ground, it's going to warm up, and 70s are looking likely there for Pierre by Monday, and Rapid City also could come close to 70 by early next week. Find out more coverage here at KELOLAND.com. Have a great day.